Sitting in your house in quarantine, getting old fast and you're losing steam. Break out a piece of paper, crayons, and a pencil. Tune in Mr. Allison's YouTube channel. So COVID, you don't bother me. Gonna make some art for everyone to see.
Hi, boys and girls. Hi, up here. Hi. All right, boys and girls, today we are going to learn about one-point perspective art. One-point perspective art. And this art is really cool, and it'll show you how to draw 3D. So how to draw in 3 dimensions, buildings and rooms and furniture and things like that. And this is sort of an advanced skill, advanced type of art. So it is going to challenge you, and it's going to challenge your inner artist. So pay close attention, sit up straight, watch carefully, and get ready to learn. Right. Let's see if I can click the slide. There we go. So this is going to take at least 3 weeks, this lesson and this project. I want you to look at my example right here of this bedroom. All right, look closely. What is it that makes it look 3D? Gives it the 3 dimensions rather than just 2-dimensional flat looking. What gives it the 3D look? So the 3 dimensions are, dimension number 1 is the length or the height. So if you take a look at this dresser back here, the height or the length is light blue. So that's dimension number 1. The second dimension is the width right here in the teal green, the width. So that would be a flat shape if we didn't have the third dimension, making it our 3D image. Optical illusion of a 3-dimensional image would be this purple depth, how deep the object is, in this case, the dresser. So what is it that makes it look 3D? Well, it's having length or height, width, and depth on all your objects, and even the room here has all 3 of those dimensions, length, width, and depth. That is what's going to make your art look 3D and give it the illusion of 3D, and we are going to learn how to do that. And it's tricky, so pay close attention. All right, the word perspective means your view. So your view on something is your perspective. Can you say perspective? All right, that means your view. So 1-point perspective, that's what this style art is called. This style of art is called 1-point perspective drawing. So 1-point view or perspective. What does that mean? Well, it means that lots of these lines, if you notice in the floor, all these lines go way back into the distance and they get closer and closer and closer to each other. And if you follow these lines all the way back, aiming at right about here, you'll notice that this is where all those lines would meet. The top of the bed would meet there, the bottom of the bed would meet there, the top of the dresser, that line would meet there, all to that 1 point. Can you find that 1 point? Right there, you see it in red? You can find it because I just told you. That's right, there's that 1 point. So notice that these lines are all aiming towards that 1 point. Since it's just 1 point, they call it 1-point perspective drawing or art. And that gives the illusion of 3-dimensional objects, buildings, rooms, streets, mountains, hills, trees, everything you can think of. So we're going to learn how to do that. We're going to have to take some steps to practice before we start our big project. So let's learn about some very, very necessary vocabulary, because I'm going to be using these words a lot. So if you don't know what these words are, well, then you're not going to understand what we're doing today and over the next 3 weeks. So listen carefully to learn these words. The first word is horizon line. And you probably know this one. This is that side-to-side line when you're standing at the beach. You look out into the ocean, and the ocean is under here, and the sky is up here, and that line where the sky meets the ocean is called the horizon line. Raise your hand if you knew that. All right. horizon line? Well, it doesn't have to be the ocean. It could be the land, the ground. Yeah, so that could be the horizon line. So remember, the horizon line is never like this, right? It's always side to side, horizon line. Now, this word, the vanishing point, very important. Vanishing point, that's that one point where those lines would be aiming towards and they would meet at that one point. Remember I showed you that back here, that one point right in the middle where those lines met? That's called the vanishing point. Can you say vanishing point? Good. Now, if that's a big word for you guys, then you can just say VP, vanishing point, abbreviated. So here's a diagram that shows the vanishing point, the VP right here, that one point, your horizon line, and these lines aiming back towards the vanishing point, way in the distance. Well, giving the illusion of distance, right? That's what this is all about. Okay, so here's a very similar word to horizon line. This word is horizontal line. Just like the horizon line, a horizontal line is side to side, perfectly side to side, not diagonal, not up and down, not even a little bit diagonal, perfectly side to side is called a horizontal line. Can you say horizontal line? Notice horizontal line has the word horizon in it. That's how they got the word, because a horizontal line is similar to the horizon line. All right, this next word, vertical line, we're going to use this a lot also. Vertical line is simply straight up and down. Is that a vertical line? No. Is that a vertical line? No. Straight up and down is a vertical line. Take a look at that. Vertical line, straight up and down, and horizontal line, just like the horizon line, side to side, perfectly side to side. Okay, here's the big word, the hardest word to remember, and probably the only word you have not heard of before. This word is called, ready for it? Ready for it? Orthogonal line. I think I'm saying that correctly. Orthogonal line. Can you say orthogonal line? Orthogonal line. Orthogonal. Good, very good. So that is a tricky word. An orthogonal line it's those lines that, let me go back to this slide here. Let me show you, I'm almost there. There. These lines that are either drawn, like in the floorboards, they're drawn and they point way back to the vanishing point. So they might draw, like if it was a road going way back to the vanishing point, those lines would be drawn all the way back to the vanishing point, pointing and drawn towards the vanishing point. Those are called orthogonal lines. But not all lines are that long and are drawn all the way back to the vanishing point. Some lines are very short. Like look at this table, for example, that the flower pot is on. That's an orthogonal line. Look, see how that line is, that is aiming straight back to, if you were to follow that line, straight back to the vanishing point. Notice, if you look around the room, lots of lines are orthogonal, pointing towards the vanishing point. Look, even up here at the light, these lines pointing towards the vanishing point. There too, pointing towards the vanishing point. Whoa, that was an accident. Even the, what would you call it, air-conditioned vent, those lines are pointing towards the vanishing point. The picture, pointing towards the vanishing point right here, pointing towards the vanishing point. The bookshelf up here, pointing towards the vanishing point. All these lines, and the carpet and the floor, the ceiling pointing towards the vanishing point. So you'll really only notice, for the most part, you'll notice only 3 types of lines. Orthogonal, the ones in red that I'm showing you, these lines. Vertical lines, straight up and down, and horizontal, side to side lines. So that's why it's so important. I want you to know those 3 types of lines. Horizontal, side to side, vertical, straight up and down, and orthogonal. So if you look around the room, most of the lines, if you really get advanced, you can do curved lines like this. But for the most part, most lines are either vertical, horizontal, or orthogonal. Sure hope I'm saying that word correctly. All right. There we go, another example. Orthogonal lines on these train tracks. Look at this. All these little lines right here are pointing towards the vanishing point. These long tracks right here on the train tracks pointing towards the vanishing point, so they're orthogonal. Even over here, these lines right here pointing towards the vanishing point, so they're orthogonal. All those lines are orthogonal. These lines going side to side, horizontal lines, side to side here, side to side, side to side, side to side. Horizontal line, the horizon line is of course a horizontal line. And our third line, vertical lines, are those straight up and down. All right, I think you got it. Thumbs up if you got it. Orthogonal, horizontal, and vertical lines. Great. That's tricky, right? So because this can be so tricky, not just the verbs or the terms, I should say, but drawing this way is very tricky. So we're just going to practice today. So what I want you to do on your piece of paper is I want you to hold it landscape, which means long man, wide man, that way. And I want you to draw this horizon line or horizontal line through about the center of your paper, maybe a little bit higher than the center of your paper. Draw that straight across. Then make a tiny little point right somewhere near the middle of that line. That's going to be your VP, your vanishing point. Next, you're going to draw a rectangle on the left side, the bottom of your paper, below the horizon line, far below the horizon line. Okay, then you're going to create, there's our tricky lines, the orthogonal lines, which means it goes towards the vanishing point. You're going to create those lines by connecting 3 of the 4 corners of the rectangle. So I want you to connect these 3 corners. This one over here. Draw this line very lightly because later we're going to erase most of this line, especially right back here. So draw this line very lightly. Draw that orthogonal line, number 1. This corner right here, number 2, draw that orthogonal line all the way back to the vanishing point. Draw your third orthogonal line from this point here of the rectangle all the way back to the vanishing point. Very, very lightly. Remember, we're going to erase most of this. This is the corner you don't touch. If you were to draw an orthogonal line right to the vanishing point from this line, then this, I'll tell you what this is going to be. It's going to be a building. So this structure or building was see-through, then that would be okay to draw that line. But since that's not going to be the case, don't draw that line. So you just have your 3 orthogonal lines. All right. So you see that red line that I just drew in there? Next, you're going to draw this horizontal line. Remember, it's completely side to side, parallel with the horizon line, just like the horizon line, side to side. You're going to draw this little line side to side from this orthogonal line to this orthogonal line right there. Make sure it's completely side to side. Doesn't go diagonal. All right, your next step is you're going to draw this line from the end of that horizontal line where it meets up with the orthogonal line. You're going to draw that straight down. That's a vertical line, straight up and down. Don't let it turn that way or be diagonal that way. Straight up and down and stop at that orthogonal line. Now remember I said you're going to be erasing some of those 3 orthogonal lines. Now is your time to erase right back here these orthogonal lines. And this is going to be the top of your box. This is going to be the side of your box, which you'll later find out will be a building. Okay, here we go. All right, so in our building, we're going to want to draw some windows and doors. So the windows and doors on the front of the building, this is the front. Here's the front back here also. So the front of the building, the windows and doors are going to have 2 types of lines. This is the easy one. Just completely side to side horizontal, completely straight up and down vertical. The side of the building is a little trickier because we have, well, an easy vertical line straight up and down, but we also have the orthogonal lines, see it, that aim towards the vanishing point way back there. So that gives it the illusion of having the depth, third dimension. So the bottom of the window and door will be orthogonal, and the top of the windows and doors will be orthogonal on the side of the building. Front of the building, just vertical and horizontal. Okay, so let's try that. Here we go. Front of the building, remember, just vertical, horizontal. So I want you to make a window and a door on the front of your building. A window, vertical, horizontal, and a door, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. Go ahead and do that. No diagonal lines and no orthogonal lines on the front of the buildings. Okay, now on the side of the building, you're going to use your vertical line to create your first door or window, and your orthogonal line that stretches all the way to the vanishing point. You're going to want to draw this very, 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 very lightly, because you're going to erase just about all of this line. So you're aiming towards that vanishing point with that line, and you finish it off by adding this vertical line right here wherever you want to add it, however big you want your door or window to be, and you erase the rest of that orthogonal line. You erase all that. All right, you can add another window or door, complete that, and watch this. Maybe you want to add, why not just try this? Why not? We're just practicing today, so try drawing more buildings down the side of that side of the street. Get creative with your windows and doors, but remember, only use those three lines: vertical, horizontal, and orthogonal. Okay, next, if there's time, begin drawing a building on the right side, the other side of your street. Add some windows and doors and have fun with it. Get creative, but remember, three types of lines: vertical, horizontal, and orthogonal. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can experiment by stacking some of those shapes to make a stacking looking like a stacked building, skyscraper maybe, chimney maybe on a roof. Try that. And the next time, if you want to try this at home, the next time you try it, maybe try lowering that horizon line or raising that horizon line. Here's an example of what yours might look like if you had more time, definitely. So I want you to notice a couple things here. One, this is really advanced, a building like this, because this uses a line that's not orthogonal, it's not horizontal, and it's not vertical. So that's really tricky, and I don't suggest you try that yet until you get some practice under your belt and learn how to do this. So don't try building shape like that just yet. Stick to the rectangular shapes that have just those three lines, straight up and down, side to side, and towards the vanishing point. Here is my example. So something to look at. This is not going to be your project for next week, but I just wanted you to see an example that I've done of using those three types of lines, and of course the vanishing point right back here. So because it all goes back to one line, it's called one point perspective. So remember, we're just practicing today, so don't beat yourself up about it if you're not doing a good job. Use that eraser and practice, 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 and we'll begin our project. Our actual project will begin next week. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed learning about one point perspective. This is your first of 3 lessons, and I can't wait see your artwork. Watch you learn. Bye, boys and girls. Great job today. Have a great day. Bye-bye. 1 point perspective drawing.
Fast and you're losing steam. Break out a piece of paper, crayons, and a pencil. Tune in Mr. Allison's YouTube channel. So Kobe, you don't bother me. Gonna make some art for everyone to see.